Hi everybody, this is God's Girl G. Thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. And those of you who are returning to my channel and you're not already subscribed, I'm going to encourage you to do so by clicking the subscribe icon below. And if during the course of this video you hear something that you like, click the thumbs up, comment below, or better yet, share this video with someone that you feel could benefit from this information. With that stated, let's get into today's discussion. There are many people that you can choose to have be part of your life and get rid of if needed. You can pick your friends, and if there's a problem, you can always choose to part ways. However, you can't pick your family. Sometimes our families can have qualities that we don't like, and it can make it hard to deal with them. Now, every family has its problems. Every family has some dysfunction. Problems can be exacerbated if you have family members who are toxic. Matter of fact, there may be some family members you're thinking of right now. And just so you know, if you have one toxic family member, chances are you have more because they're known to come in multiples. These toxic family members treat you, and worse yet, can treat your kids horribly. They make you feel bad about yourself. They cause fights among family members, or they can make everyone's life miserable on holidays or vacations. And no matter how many times you try to reconcile with that toxic family member, the situation never improves, or it can actually get worse. As a result, you may not want to see that person, which can result in problems for the entire family. So let's turn to the Bible when it comes to addressing and talking about toxic family members. And what better scripture to look at than 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 7, because it describes what love is supposed to look like. It says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It's not self-seeking, it's not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Now, if we look at what the opposite of that scripture is, what do we see? We see what love is not. Check out this list, but I want to highlight 5 things off of this list for which love is not. Love is not verbally or physically abusive. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It does not remind us of our past mistakes. And it should not delight in our pain or suffering. As Christians, it's really a good idea to not only rehearse but memorize the scripture. Because sometimes when you're dealing with a toxic family member, you can forget what love truly is. Family does not get a gold pass just because they wear the title of family. Loving someone well does not always mean playing nice. It doesn't always mean being the peacemaker or just letting people walk all over you. That isn't love. That's called enabling. So now I want to give you 7 signs that your family might be toxic. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. It's just some highlights for consideration. There's much more that could be said. Number 1, they are very critical and mean about it. Even if they insist that they're just teasing, those comments may, even subconsciously, be decimating by design. 2, they lie or deny the truth. 3, they sow conflict with family members. You know, they set up scenarios where jealousy and resentment can flourish. 4, they make you feel bad for feeling bad. Let me explain. It can be extremely painful when you're trying to share your hurt or grievance, or even abuse enacted by them or another family member, only to be left feeling like you hurt them for bringing it up. They may cry or lash out at you with righteous anger, or they may say something that sounds like this: Why can't you just let that go, effectively minimizing your negative experiences? 5, they could teach a class on passive-aggressive behavior. This can include guilt trips and backhanded compliments. 6, they tell all your business to other family members. It's not uncommon for toxic family members to breach your confidence. They will share your business, your struggles, with whoever they want, with little to no regard of how that breaches your trust. 7, they ignore your boundaries. If your wishes aren't being respected by someone who doesn't think the boundaries apply to them, it can make you feel like you're not being respected. So now that we talked about the 7 signs of toxic family members, how should we deal with those toxic members? So since the Bible doesn't teach us to be passive doormats, how should we deal with toxic family members biblically? And oh, by the way, if you haven't checked out my Turning the Other Cheek video, after you watch this one, that would be a good time to check it out. It will be linked below. Okay, first, you must assess the situation and how you may have contributed to it. Now, before you get too worked up, take a step back and assess the situation honestly. Is the other person actually toxic or simply annoying and thoughtless? Because let's face it, we all have family members that are annoying and thoughtless. So with this step, it's just really looking at yourself and any part that you may have played in the issue. Have you done anything to make the situation worse or failed to do something to make the situation better? It's time to get honest with yourself. Next, identify and set healthy biblical boundaries with family. You've got to look at what behaviors will you accept, which behaviors you will not accept. Where is the boundary? Seek wise counsel from friends and family that you trust to make sure that your boundaries are reasonable. And then let the other party or parties know where your boundaries are and stick to them. Next, pray. Throughout this whole thing, really, you should have been praying. But pray. So I'm going to take a pause here and talk about that. The importance of prayer, even with toxic family members. Pray that God will heal their hurt and pray that God would open up their eyes to their toxic behavior and that your relationship can be restored. God will help you learn how to respond to toxic family members. You just have to ask. And 4, you need to forgive. Now, forgiving someone doesn't mean that what they did is okay or that they shouldn't receive any consequences for their action. Forgiveness is a means to healing. You have to do the work of processing that hurt. You will always have to find an outlet for the anger, pain, fear, and sense of shame, low self-worth, and all the emotional challenges that accompanies trauma. And finally, 5, let go. While it would be wonderful if we could all just get along, but the truth is, we do have free will, and some people use their free will in a way that interferes with God's best for our lives. And when this happens, we don't have to stay stuck in toxic, abusive relationships, including with our family. Now, Jesus had times where he walked away, and we have the biblical right to walk away too. God opens doors, but sometimes we forget he closes doors too. As unfortunate as it is, when there is nothing more that we can do, we need to just step back and let God deal with it in a way that only he can. And that's okay. As much as you want it to be something else for your safety, mental health, and sometimes salvation, it's necessary for you to believe what you see and act accordingly. It might be challenging to accept the fact that you might have to walk away from some family members. Blindly going along with family norms because it gives an image of togetherness will not be beneficial in the long run. Accepting that your family is the way that they are might be the first step in helping to free you to do the work of healing that is necessary. Were you born into your family? Yes. but you're not stuck with them. The Bible tells us to follow those who follow Him. So our relationship with family is no different than our relationship with anyone else that turns out to not be the person that we thought they were. Family does not get a pass to do whatever they want to do to us. Choosing not to entertain our toxic family members does not make us less Christian, unchristian, ungodly, or anything else along those lines. What it makes us is wise. Thank you so much for joining me today. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Bye.